The biggest fear we in the market seem to have is the chance that there is a recession. We discussed in earlier videos, I believe it was Monday's video, how we were getting kind of concerned about this because of the aggressive spike in the price of oil, and we have oil positions. The reason why we were concerned about it is because every time the price of oil has increased 50%, there has been a recession. You don't have oil increase 50% and not have a recession based on history. However, since that time, we've seen oil pull back around 20%. That's almost half of that required 50%. And we've actually pulled back about half of the gains that we've seen since the Russia-Ukraine, whatever you want to call it, boner for oil prices. We'll call it the boner. Anyways, we're seeing a pullback. Now, we don't necessarily want to fight history. We don't want to toss it to the side. We certainly want to consider it. But, not everything follows trends. We hit all-time highs. We can get something that is unprecedented. Not to say that the probability of a recession is zero or that it's unlikely, but the biggest fear I had for a recession seems to be abating rather quickly. And I think that's an optimistic thing. And we're not going to ignore the optimistic things. So we have to consider that oil has fallen significantly. That means the amount of money relative to total money that people have to spend on gas is going to decrease, which means they can spend money on other goods, which is great because if you spend all your money on one good, where are you going to get new GDP from? And contractions in GDP are what leads to recessions. So, quite optimistic. We're seeing prices come down. And we talked about this yesterday, but I'm going to reiterate in case you didn't watch yesterday's video, the difference in the divergence between energy stocks and the price of oil. Today we saw the price of oil down and energy stocks up. We saw energy stocks underperform on the way up and outperform on the way down. So maybe we're seeing some more rationalization in that market. I think the lack of outperformance on the way up as the price of oil just skyrocketed essentially 50% and the stocks did not move 50%, except Occidental, which moved close to that, indicates to me that those who are most in tune with the market, the various energy analysts of Wall Street, did not expect us to hold 120 a barrel plus prices. Again, pretty optimistic sign. I'm not trying to sound all rosy because I do have pessimistic signs. We are likely still to see price increases quite dramatically and in necessary goods, which probably affect people more than energy prices. Food prices are about to go up. Russia and Ukraine export a lot of wheat. Wheat is used in bread, a lot of food that we eat, a whole lot of food. Also fertilizer. We grow a lot of corn. Corn feeds a lot of animals, feeds a lot of people too. Fertilizer also grows a bunch of other crops. Russia seems to be limiting its export of that fertilizer, and they, I believe, export something like 1 or 2/3 of the world's total fertilizer consumption. So we have to be cautious of all of this stuff that is coming up that wasn't previously coming up. We had quite substantial inflation, and it's likely to be even higher this current month. We're hearing February's numbers. Wait till we get March's numbers. I expect them to be quite high. So there are reasons for concern. The Fed is concerned about price stability. It thinks it can get price stability down by decreasing asset purchases and raising interest rates. Price instability seems to be going up. Does that mean a more hawkish Fed? It's possible, but it's highly uncertain right now. So we have to be prepared for that possibility, which I think has a reasonably high probability that the Fed will have to get a little bit more hawkish. it has flirted with these notions and said they will become the case if necessary. We're far from price stability, it looks like. So I think they're going to start heading in that direction. And if we have price instability, more hawkish Fed, do we get a higher market? Well, it's possible. It's also not possible. I don't know. Okay? I don't know. What I do know is that there are stocks at reasonable prices that are good. And I like those stocks. And I'm buying those stocks. What I also know is I think there's a reasonable probability the market goes down. So I also have, I didn't add this today, I added it in the previous video. Watch the videos. If you're new to the channel, please continue watching. Still have the SPY put. Have not trimmed. Did not trim yesterday when the market was up. Did not add today when the market was down. I've got that at about 2% allocation. 420 put. Bought it around when the SPY was around 335 or so. And we're feeling good with that. Goes out all the way out until until May 20th. We want to see what happens between now and May 20th because we're going to have 2 Fed meetings, maybe 3. I don't know exactly when the May one comes. We'll get some more clarity there. We'll certainly have more clarity with regards to the geopolitical tensions, Russia-Ukraine, also China-Taiwan, and North Korea now testing new missiles. We're going to see what happens. We are prepared, at least we think we are prepared, for multiple different scenarios. And I suggest that if this video tells you anything, it's that multiple scenarios are possible. And there are a lot of unknowns. But that doesn't mean that there's not a way to be comfortable in your investing and make some money. The only thing I would not be comfortable in, at least relatively not comfortable, obviously if you have a ton of this cash, you can be comfortable for now. But because of the debt, the deficit, etc., I don't want cash. I would rather have a well-priced business than cash. So we'll call that today's video. And until next time, peace out.